Anthony Joshua believes that he'll get a good win next time based off of what he's learned. Let's talk about that.
Push the weight and now flex. The live is 1 in the 6. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Well, y'all know the drill. Boxing scene. Link will be in the description. Joshua, I believe I'll get a good win in the next fight with Usyk because of what I've learned. Let's read. Anthony Joshua isn't the least bit concerned about whether he'll assume an unfamiliar role of underdog when he fights Alexander Usyk again. The former unified heavyweight champion is focused much more on applying the lessons that he learned from his 12-round unanimous decision defeat to Usyk on Saturday night in their immediate rematch. England's Joshua will definitely do a lot of things differently when he squares off against Usyk a second time. Okay. Perhaps as soon as February or March, because Eddie Hearn did say that, according to Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn. See, I'm reading this for the first time, family. Usyk got off to a strong start against AJ, withstood his huge opponent's comeback during the middle rounds, and became the champion in his second division. Historic. He's going to the Hall of Fame because of that. Shout out to Alexander Usyk. All three judges respectively credited the unbeaten Ukrainian southpaw with winning 9, 8, and 7 rounds at the stadium in London. The 31-year-old AJ understands that he'll have to employ a smarter strategy to win the shot at redemption. Usyk is contractually obligated to grant him. Contractually obligated. Does Usyk seem like the type of guy that'll say, you know what, I want out of this. I want to do other things. He offended me. He offended the Ukrainian people, and get me out of this. Does AJ have to go to arbitration for Usyk to keep his word? No, because Usyk is a gentleman. Usyk will sign his contract and honor it because he's a gentleman, right? Right? So far, right? Shout out to Usyk. I don't look at it kind of like an underdog or whatnot. Joshua stated during his post-fight press conference, if you know me, I'm not fussed about. This is UK lingo, you know. I'm just reading it how it's written. I always say that the belts don't represent me. I represent myself. What? Okay, okay, let me just read. So underdog or champion is what it is, but I'm just looking to go on and in there and improved, stronger, smarter. And yeah, I believe I'll get a good win next fight because of what I've learned in this fight. I am a quick learner and will bounce back. Rob McCracken, Joshua's longtime trainer, also discussed the areas in which Joshua must improve in order to win their second fight. After guiding Joshua toward avenging his first loss to Andy Ruiz in their immediate rematch, McCracken is confident that his fighter can regain his titles when he encounters Usyk again. There's no drawing board, to be honest, McCracken said. You've got to apply pressure behind your jab and your right hand, and you got to keep him off balance, and you got to put shots together when you get in there. But as we've seen Saturday night, Usyk's a very good boxer. But look, you know, Anthony's already addressed that he's learning on the job. You know, and he showed that in the Ruiz rematch. You're learning on the job. At this level, you're learning on the job. Do y'all remember when he called out Deontay Wilder and Deontay Wilder said, I was going to let the kid live. You know, don't wait, make the date. You remember all of this? He just said that he's learning on the job. Remember when we said a few years ago, yo, AJ might not be ready yet. slow your roll. Y'all putting a lot of pressure on him. Let him develop. Y'all remember all of that? And all we was met with was he accomplished more in a short amount of time than the Bronze Bomber has. We said, all right, make the fight. Circus. Your man just said he's still learning on the job. Unified champion. Lost it once, got it back, lost it again. Now he has to try and get it back. Do y'all really see him winning this rematch? He's still learning on the job at this level. He said that. He just said it. Let us read. And I've got no doubts that if, he applies himself, which he will, that, I'm reading it how it's written, you'll get a great performance in the rematch. A great performance in the rematch because Usyk boxed tremendously well Saturday night, and Anthony will have learned loads tonight. You've got to apply better pressure with a fighter like that and not give him too much time. And that's really what should happen. That's the article. And I'm going to give you my opinion. Anthony Joshua will not beat Alexander Usyk in the rematch. That's my opinion. He's going to have to prove me wrong. I don't believe him. You know why? How the hell are you still learning on the job at this level? You got to tell me. At this level, you're learning on the job? I said it on the stream, and I'm going to say it again. If that was King Kong Ortiz hitting him with those left hands, 6'4", 240-pound King Kong Ortiz hitting him with left hands, if Usyk could bust his eye in the British eye, that's a whole nother conversation. But if he could bust his eye up, a cruiserweight, a smaller guy who weighed about 20 pounds less than you can give you angles and land that left hand at will. If he could bust your eye and hit you easily, like he did all night long, what was King Kong Ortiz finna do to you? We understand. You don't even have to explain it because we see what you did. And now we know why you did it. You avoided Ortiz like the plague, like everyone else did, except for Deontay Wilder. What are you going to do now in the rematch? He's going to expect you to walk him down, which is something you should have tried in this fight. And I know you guys might not want to hear this, the lifetime AJ fans, but prove me wrong. AJ is not who you thought he was. And let me tell you something. I pay attention. There was a lot of people that were on that AJ bandwagon, hard body karate. And I everything gets back to me. Everyone has time to listen to what the other side was saying. Man, those guys jumped ship. They were never your friend, AJ. They were never your friend because they jumped ship and they didn't do it quietly. They jumped overboard and gave you the bird while pummeling into the ocean. F you, wine car! Right into the water. They were never your friends. And all we wanted from you was for you to perform properly. I've been saying this a lot lately. Just because you're celebrated doesn't mean you're great. Your accomplishments didn't match. That's what we were saying the whole time. And the jig was up when you allowed Eddie Hearn to play games and we didn't get an undisputed matchup when you had it. And I'm going to tell you why you messed up. Because after he knocks Fury's head off, the way he's going to do it, the way Deontay's going to do it, you made it worse. The time for you'd have done better fighting Deontay 3 years ago before he made all these changes. Now he's become more of a complete fighter, and you're going to see it. But don't worry about Deontay, because you got Usyk issues. And if he was smart enough to beat you like a drum now, he's going to be prepared when you come in at 260 next fight and try and muscle him and walk him down. It still ain't going to work, man. That's just my opinion. You're going to have to prove me wrong. So you got this lifetime deal with Eddie Hearn. Good luck to you. You've made a ton of money. But this is boxing. You could go in there and beat Usyk. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And if you lose to Usyk a second time, what's next for good old AJ? AJ, what you should have did, after you got it back from Ruiz, you should have added to your camp. You probably should have came over here. More than likely, you should have came over to America and learned something different, because we just different over here. But like I said before, Mark Breland's available.